Hi everyone, my name is Rachel and welcome to the French Seams. Thanks very much for joining me for this week's Friday Sews video, where I'll talk about what I have been sewing, what I will be sewing, and a little bit of life as well. And stay tuned to the end of the video where I will give you a crochet blanket update. Spoiler alert, it's almost done. So thank you very much for indulging me on that, and thank you for all the lovely comments I received on my little blanket last week. So I hope you've all had a good week. The week here was good. Our weather is mixed. It's kind of rainy, monsoony, but really warm and muggy, not very nice. But hopefully we're getting the return of lovely sunny weather towards the end of next week, which is marvellous. The boys are great. They're doing all kinds of end of term stuff, which is lovely. We took a little trip to the zoo last weekend, which is really, really nice. So yeah, all is well on that front, which is marvellous. Long may it last. So I hope you've had a good week. The week here was good as regards sewing. I'm continuing on with my Sew Fruity makes. So I released my vlog as part of the vlogger tour for the fabulous challenge Sew Fruity on Wednesday of this week. So I'll pop in a link up here and down below if you want to catch up in that video. So I've said what I'm going to make for that challenge. Another make has snuck in, so you'll have to wait until the end of the month to see what else I've made for that challenge. I love it so much. So I've been working on that in the background, and thank you to everybody who's watched that video so far. I did get a delivery this week, so I bought some bag making stuff from Quilt Yarn Stitch. I think they have a fabulous bag making section on their website. I'll link them below. They have really, really great stuff. But also one thing I got from their website, which I've lost it now. Yes, I desperately needed a new rotary blade. You know when you're cutting out and it just you pull out the pattern piece and the fabric and it's still attached? Then yeah, so really too late really, I realised I needed a new rotary blade, so cannot wait to use this because my old one is like a spoon. So what I did go on the website to get was bag making stuff. So I got 2 bits of webbing, so light blue and dark blue. And then I got a good selection, this isn't all of them, I got a good selection of D-rings, of lobster clasps, and of sliders. Because, and I think I showed you this fabric very recently, I got this fabulous Lego print cotton fabric from Crafty Studio recently. I got a good amount, a couple of meters. I would really, really like to make the Adam Sews Acorn backpack. So it's a relatively new make, relatively new pattern I should say, from Adam Sews. I'll pop in a picture of it here. Fabulous bag patterns, they're just amazing. You know, I've made a load of his patterns, I love them. And I was really taken by the Acorn backpack, and I thought it would be cute for my 2 boys, and I would really, really like to make it. So I had the fabric, which I alluded to a few weeks ago, and I just needed to buy a few little kind of haberdashery bag making items. So I'm really excited to get cracking on that. So watch this space over the next few weeks. I think that's going to be a slightly involved make, especially if I'm making 2 of them. So watch this space. So that was very exciting. She threw in a little bag of sweets as well, so thank you very, very much. So what else did I get sewn up this week? So I made an apron, and I don't have it to hand because I've already posted it down to my lovely dad in time, hopefully, for Father's Day this Sunday. So I really wanted to make this apron for a very, very long time. It's a free pattern on the Helen's Closet website and it's called the Sam apron. And it comes in 2 views. So just a regular apron with the tie neck and then the tie waist, but then it comes in a really cool crisscross back version, which is the one that I did. So again, I got that beautiful cotton canvas. I got the cotton canvas from Trees and Stuffin', and I got the cotton webbing from Quilt Yarn Stitch. And for the crossover back, you do need a good amount of it because it goes all around the neck and then crisscross the back and then all around the waist as well. I think you need about 4.5 meters of webbing, which is quite a lot. So it's a really, really nice pattern. So as it says, you feed the webbing along the neck, and then it's got a lovely pocket at the top, a pocket on the waist, which I made in little dividers, and then it's got tea towel kind of holders on the side. Then the webbing goes around the back and you put in a little fabric tab, and that's how the webbing crisscrosses over at the back, and then it goes back into the sides of the apron in this really cool kind of triangular fold over section. It's really, really cool. So I had great fun making that. As always with Helen's Closet patterns, fabulous instructions, great diagrams, all the works, it's fabulous. I did do some contrast top stitching, I hope it came out okay. And I did, after I took these pictures, I put a little cricket at the top just to personalise it ever so slightly, which I think came out quite nicely. I put on a little Cozy Club handmade label on it, so it says destined for greatness, got a little cheese grater. I love a cheese pun, so I thought that was quite fitting for an apron. And then at the side of the bib here, she does have you cut binding out of self fabric, but why miss an opportunity to use Becky Seamstress binding? So I had a little bit of this beautiful star binding left over, so I used that, and I think it came out quite nicely. So I hope he enjoys that. As I said last week, he is a fabulous cook, so I thought this would be a nice little prezi for him. So that was my little bit of sewing this week as well. I did some sewing for my boys. So I had shown last week that I got this unbelievably cute otter fabric from Dresdenstoffen, and I made them both little matching PJs, and I've been wearing them all week. So I still have to cut off some threads. This is baby French seams ones. These are little pajama bottoms. It's the kids patterns. I'll pop it down below for kids PJs. I use it all the time. It comes as long sleeve top and long sleeve trousers, but I just chop them off. A little bit of elastic at the waist, which I secure with a little kind of wavy stitch here, which is really, really nice. So they're the bottoms, and then they both have little t-shirts. So these are t-shirts here, which are adorable. I had a tiny bit of this ribbing left over, because I like using ribbing for the neckband, so I think that goes quite nicely. And then these little short sleeve ones, so older French seams ones, are completely identical. And then I had to pop in these little labels. They love these Cozy Club handmade labels as soon as they came. So they have a little snail on one side, which is very slow fashion, and then on the other side it has a sloth saying very slow fashion. So baby French seams has a snail on the outside, older French seams has a sloth on the outside, so I can tell them apart, which is very, very cute. So this is the other t-shirt as well, so really, really nice. So they were delighted with these pajamas, and even more delighted when I got them ready for bed the other night, and then I reappeared in this. Of course, I had to make myself something matching. You know I love matching them. So I whipped myself up an MET. Really, really nice, because I had the pattern all out and everything. If you've watched my So Fruity, you'll know I'm making the MET. So I decided to make a little matching pajama top for myself, which I love. This fabric is just adorable. So the MET is really great, comes together really quickly. A lovely neckline. You can use self fabric. You don't necessarily have to use ribbing. And then again on the cuffs, which is quite nice. The only difference I made on this one was, instead of just turning up the hemband, I decided to do the little Waves and Wild hack, which I showed recently on my LB pullover, where you make a little faux hemband, which came out really, really nicely. So you fold the fabric up and then fold it back down and overlock the inside, so it looks like a little faux hemband, which is really nice. I'm quite pleased with how that came out, actually. So yes, love the MET, so I was really happy with that. What else did I make this week? What I'm wearing. This is the Chasing Butterflies top by Pattern Emporium, I believe. Yes, I think that's right. This is now my fourth one, and I love it. It's this beautiful pink cotton fabric that I got from Dresdenstoffen recently, and you can just about see that it's kind of ladies' faces, which I love. So lovely neckband. I did the crew neck version. I think it comes in a crew neck, and then I think they call it a relaxed neck, which is a bit lower. I just like the crew neck. And then it's got these lovely batwing sleeves. So you're really tied with the limitation of how wide your fabric is to make this top, because this is basically all cut in the fold. So it came out a bit short. So what I did was I used the cuff pattern from the Tilly and the Buttons Billy sweatshirt to make a little cuff pattern piece, which matched in perfectly, so it gives an extra bit of length. I make a size 12 grade into a size 14. And then it's got the little hemband at the bottom, which is really nice. I popped in a Swing It, Shake It, Move It, Made It label from Little Rosy Cheeks, because it was pink. I thought it was kind of cute. And of course I bound the neckline, pop in how to do it up there. I had to do that. So yeah, very, very happy with this. It's a nice kind of lightweight top. So I have a couple in cotton jersey, a couple in heavier knits, but I just love this pattern. It comes together so quickly. It's so comfortable. It looks really smart with a pair of jeans. And yeah, so very, very happy with it. And I think this fabric is really, really cool. I think it's really funky. So that was my little sewing adventures this week. So what shall I move on to now? Yes, I shall move on to my plans. So as mentioned, I wanted to get the start on that backpack project. So that's going to take a couple of weeks, I think. This week I also took a trip to IKEA, and they do 3-meter pre-cuts, and I picked up these. I'm not going to pronounce it, but they are pre-cuts, and this is 3 meters, and it's kind of it's 150 by 300 centimeters. And it is 100% cotton, so it's quite thick, heavyweight cotton, but it looks almost like sunflowers. I think it's really, really nice. And I wanted to make new curtains for our kitchen, so they lead out into the garden. I just have an old pair of IKEA curtains on, which are quite light, but our kitchen is navy, and I thought that would match very, very nicely with that. So I'm going to make new curtains for us. It's very straightforward. It's literally just curtains and tabs at the top. It's nothing exciting, but I think they'll look quite effective. I think sewing curtains is the only area of home sewing where you definitely save money. definitely. So these aren't going to be too challenging because literally they're just drops of fabric with little tabs at the top. I did buy the course from the Stitch Sisters years and years and years ago. It was during lockdown, I think, and I made a curtain for our hall, and that was fully lined with the tab at the top and the hooks and everything. Absolutely brilliant. And yeah, that course is brilliant. I wonder, is it still available? I'll pop a link to it below if it is. But definitely, I think making your own curtains, you can definitely save money if you do them yourself. So I thought this would be a little fun project, so I'll take a snap when I'm finished with that. This also came last week and I forgot to show it to you. It's from Rainbow Fabrics, so I can offer you 20% off Rainbow Fabrics using my code here, Rachel !VIP, and that is an affiliate link. Thank you very, very much as a brand ambassador. And I totally forgot to show you this fabric. This is a linen look cotton, and you can see the kind of weave in it. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's these little flowers, but it runs selvage to selvage. So if I show you the edge here, this is the selvage here, and it's got this beautiful little design at the bottom, which is really, really nice. So my plans for this, I got 2 meters. I am going to toile my sepia pants. That is the pattern that I won recently as part of the Sew Skin Summer Challenge. I won a pattern from Closet Core. Thank you very much, Lucy, for that challenge. So, and I got 2 meters of this from Rainbow Fabrics. So what I'm going to do is make a little pajama set. I'm going to make the handsy top as a top. I've made that recently. It's a free pattern by Seamark. I made in this pink Dobby fabric a few weeks ago. Love it. And I know that takes very, very little fabric. And then with the rest of it, I can toile the shorts of the sepia pants. It does come as a shorts version because I definitely want to alter the rise on that, and I'd like to give it a go first. So I think that would make a really, really cute little PJ set. So that's going to be a little work in progress over the next few weeks. Another thing that I'm going to be working on, and it's actually, if you're watching this on Friday the 13th, it's actually tomorrow, Saturday the 14th, is an online sew along that's happening at, I think it's between 10 and 12 a.m. tomorrow morning GMT. So Saturday mornings are quite good for me to do things because the boys have classes, and Mr. French Seam says he's going to take them to the classes tomorrow, and I usually do the shop and tidy the house and stuff. That's not being done tomorrow. I'm going to log on to the My Handmade Wardrobe sew along for the Mix It Up Tea Challenge. So I'll link everything below if you haven't heard of this. So basically, My Handmade Wardrobe is setting up this new initiative, and it's called the Weekend Sewing Club, and it looks really, really good fun. I think it's launching in July, and basically it's going to be, you get a PDF every month, you get a huge amount of support, a huge amount of resources, you get fit advice, you get fabric recommendations, you get all your prep, all your what kind of notions you'll need, all that kind of guidance and advice. It looks really, really great. And then you get a live sew along every month as well. So to kick off that new subscription service, there's a thing called the Mix It Up Tea Challenge, and basically they've released a t-shirt pattern. I'll pop it up here. It looks really great. It's got a contrast yoke, and you can sew along with that tomorrow. And there's been various things leading up to it, like Facebook Lives and challenges and all that kind of stuff. So be sure to link it, check out the links below about what that's all about. But I'm hoping to log on to that tomorrow. I've printed off the pattern. I just need to stick it together, and I'm hopefully going to make a little t-shirt. So I went rooting through my jersey fabric scraps, and I found 2 pieces that I'm hoping are going to work. I don't have a huge amount, so we'll see how it goes. But I have this little bit of navy cotton jersey, and then I have this starry fabric as well. So I'm hoping I can stretch them into that. I'm not quite sure. I don't have a huge amount. I might have to do an awful lot of colour blocking. But it looks like a really fun challenge, a really fun pattern, and a great way to kick off the Weekend Sewing Club. So be sure to check that all out below. Right, next up is going to be another plan, and this is a very exciting collaboration that I'm going to be working on over the next few weeks with a very, very lovely Mel. So she's not on YouTube, she's over on Instagram. She is Melanie Keane over on Instagram, and I will link that down below. Please be sure to check her out. She is just fabulous. I had known of her before, and then I was very fortunate to actually meet her in real life at Stitch Festival this year, because she was working on the Studio 77 stand, and we had a lovely chat, and she was just very, very nice. So she's an incredible lady, hugely talented sewist. She was on the catwalk at Stitch Festival this year wearing the most incredible banana print denim dress. Fabulous. So she was also recently on a podcast, and it was called the Sew Organised Style podcast. It was a 2-parter all about her sewing and her work, which is fascinating, absolutely wonderful. I would really encourage you to give that a listen. She is the co-founder of Surrey Sews, and also of the SewFizzTeaCated event, which is a marvellous, almost like a kind of afternoon tea frocktails event, which is happening in Surrey in October. I'll link to that below as well. If you can attend that, fabulous. If you can't attend that though, I believe they're also running the online version version of that as a kind of a challenge as well, which they did last year, which was basically sew up something you'd wear to an afternoon tea event, which was wonderful. I made a little stripy dress, which I really enjoyed. So I'm glad that they do the online event and then they do the in-person event as well, which is great. And that, of course, is all to raise money for the Lightest, which is where Mel works. She does the most amazing volunteer work. She really is. She's a spectacular lady. She really is. So I would really encourage you to check her out down below. I'll link everything. So as I said, I met her at the Stitch Festival and we were chatting along with other people. And prior to that, I had mentioned to my lovely friend Sam, Sola Sparkle with Sam, that I really wanted to make a bomber jacket. And I had got this fabric from Rainbow Fabrics. It must have been about 6 or 8 months ago. I can't quite remember. It's this beautiful jacquard. So I'm not quite sure, is the outside meant to be this kind of shiny bit, or is the outside just meant to be this kind of black boucle on the inside? I'm not quite sure. I'm going to do the shiny side out because that's just how I roll. And I got this and I really, really wanted to make a bomber jacket. And I kind of sat there and I wasn't really quite sure what pattern to choose. I was doing a bit of research about it, all that good stuff. And then I was watching Sam's, I think it was her So Frugal video, and she showed the bomber jacket that she had made, the incredible sparkly version that she had made as part of the finale for the sewing bee. So utterly spectacular bomber jacket, it was marvellous. And she mentioned the pattern she had used, and it was the Avelia bomber jacket by Mood Patterns. And I suddenly realised, like, that's a free pattern. I had no idea. So of course I thought, well, that's a marvellous pattern to try. I'd love to do that. And then between whatever happened, between the jigs and the reels at Stitch Festival, Sam and Mel were talking, and then Sam knew I wanted to do a bomber jacket, and I think Mel mentioned it. Anyway, it all transpired that myself and Mel both wanted to make a bomber jacket, and we decided to do a collaboration together, which is fabulous. So thank you very much, Mel, for embarking on this challenge with me, and thank you very much, Sam, for bringing this idea to the forefront. So we are going to be making the Avelia bomber jacket. That was a very, very long introduction to what our collaboration is going to be. So I am going to be making it out of this marvellous fabric. Because I knew I wanted to do that at Stitch Festival, I also picked up some of this cuffing, this poppy stuff. I don't usually use this because I like kind of being able to fold under, cuffing and ribbing and stuff, but I thought for a bomber jacket, to make it look authentic, I thought this would look really, really well, and I quite like the gold bit on it, so I thought this would be really nice for the neckband and the cuffs and the waistband. Then I went on a lovely hunt for lining fabric, because you know that's where the party is basically. So, and I got this beautiful fabric very recently from Love Fabrics Ireland. So I saw it on our website and thought this would be gorgeous for the inside. So it's a viscose fabric. It's really, really nice. It's green with kind of splodges of kind of beige and almost pinky actually, and black. And I think underneath this, I think will be absolutely gorgeous. So if you can see that, you're going to get a flash of that on the inside. So I think that will look really, really nice. So it seems like a great pattern. It's a standard bomber jacket. It doesn't come with inseam pockets, but I think there's a few sew-alongs that you can do pockets. There is a little zip on the side here, which intrigues me. I think I might do that and see how I get on. So I have printed the pattern. I haven't cut my fabric. I think what I'm going to do is compare the pattern piece to maybe a Billy sweatshirt to see lengthwise, widthwise, all that good stuff. The thing about Mood Patterns, and I did realise this when I made my Fleur dressing gown before, they give you all the sizing in, is it 8, 10, 12, whatever it is, and you match up your bust and your waist and your hips, all that good stuff. They've got them in those sizing. But then when you actually look at the pattern, it groups them. So I looked at the sizing and I think I fell into something like a 10 grading to a 12 or something like that. But then when you actually look at the pattern, it has an 8 to 10 and a 12 to 14. So I need to be a bit clever, because although I'm a 10 at the bust, I'm definitely not an 8 in the bust. And while I think it was like maybe a 14 on the hips, I'm probably not a 60 on the hips. So I need to make sure that I'm cutting out the right size pattern. And because you want a certain amount of ease with jackets and all that good stuff. Anyway, so that is going to be our collaboration, and I'm really, really looking forward to working with Mel on this. We have had a little FaceTime to get to know each other a little bit better, which was lovely. I do need to buy a zip. Did that dawn on me when I was doing an order from Culture and Stitch? No, so I'll have to source a zip very, very soon. It has to be a specific closed-ended zip, so I can't use my trusted continuous zips. So that's what I'm going to be working on over the next few weeks, and we'll come back to you over the next few weeks, maybe kind of July-ish time, to show you our finished jackets, and I'm very, very excited. So thank you very, very much, Mel, for doing this collaboration with me. I'm really excited about it, and please pop over and check Mel out over on Instagram as well. She's Melanie Keane. She is just wonderful. So that's what I'm going to be up to this week. So I've got quite a bit of plans, don't I? Actually, I'm coming on here, I thought, oh, I don't really have much to do. I do. Anyway, so Right, so that was all my sewing bits and bobs. So if you have no interest in crochet, then I will leave it there for now, and I hope you have a very lovely weekend. Thank you very, very much for watching so far, and if you want to leave a comment or ask any questions, please feel free to do so. But otherwise, I shall see you next week. However, if you have even a passing interest in crochet, will I show you how I'm getting on with my blanket? So we had week 5 last week. Yes, that was tricky. I'm not going to lie. Did I get it finished in the week? No, it spilled into the next week, but that's fine. And since I spoke to you last week, week 6 has been released, which is the last week. So I can't believe we've been doing this now for almost 6 weeks. It has been marvellous. I've said it before and I'll say it again. My enthusiasm far outweighs my skill, but I am loving it. The trajectory of my learning curve has been just stellar over the past 6 weeks. I've learned so much. I've really enjoyed doing this blanket, and I can't believe it's almost finished, and I'm going to have to think of another project to do when this is finished. So what we did was we put them all together. So I showed you the gingham squares last week, which were so tricky, and we had to do 12 of them, and they took hours. I did get ever so slightly quicker towards the end, but they were very, very challenging, I'm not gonna lie. So I did make 12 of them, and then so I got them in all, this is going to be full of fluff, all different colours, and I've appliqued on my little fruits. I do have to do all kinds of weaving at the back. Yeah, that's for another day, watching TV. So I've done this, and then I had a whole other panel of them as well. We've now joined the whole thing together, so you can see that it's totally wibbly wobbly. Yeah, hopefully blocking will fix that. So we've got the cherries, and then we've got the little ripples, we've got the raspberries, more ripples, we've got the gingham, we've got the granny square or granny stripes we did the first week, which seems like a lifetime ago. More gingham squares, and then our strawberries, and then our watermelon at the end. So what I've done is I've joined them all together. I've done a border on the outside which needs more adding to it, and then I've started on the border at the top, which I think is really, really pretty. It's these kind of V details, which is really nice. So I need to finish off the border at the top. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 rows to go here. Mimic that at the bottom. Then finish the borders all the way along the 2 long edges, and then do the little pom-poms. So the great pom-pom debate. So it comes with, I think, crocheted pom-poms for the side to match the colours here, which is a nice idea. And then it comes with massive big pom-poms for the top. I'm not keen on the massive pom-poms, so I think what I'm going to do is do the little tiny crochet pom-poms all the way around. I think that would look really cute. So, and then I'll be finished, so watch this space. But I have been loving this so far, and I think it's coming together very, very nicely, and it's lovely to sit under of an evening and do a crochet. But yes, I have been doing basically nothing but crocheting, and I am loving it. So this is how far I've got, and only a few days left, and I hopefully this time next week will come back to you with a finished picnic blanket and plans to use it. Who doesn't love going on a lovely sunny picnic? Fingers crossed. So that is my crochet. I think that's everything I wanted to catch you up on. Thank you very, very much for watching as always. If you want to leave a comment or ask me a question, let me know what you're working on as well. Please leave a comment in the comment box below. You know how much I love having the chats. If you enjoyed this video, I'd very much love it if you would give me a thumbs up and hopefully consider subscribing. I have a new vlog coming to you out on Wednesday, this Wednesday coming, and that's going to be all about my summer plans. So be sure you're subscribed and you'll get notified as soon as that drops, as the cool kids say. But aside from that, I shall leave it there for now. I hope you all have a lovely weekend and a lovely week. I hope you all get time for some lovely, lovely sewing, and I will talk to you all again in another video. Take care, everyone. Bye.